Hi all and welcome back to my Let's Play of Fallout 3, where we are going to continue with this big town quest. A memorable quest if I remember rightly, which if I'm remembering means it's memorable. Sorry about the lack of uploads recently. I had some numero uno, I had some keyboard issues, and then I had life being busy issues, and so on and so forth. We are surrounded by bloatflies. So it just means I struggle to hit the daily any uploads for about a week or so, but I think we have all the issues we're having resolved. So the one thing I want to say on that, I am a little rusty. That's just vatsies, guys. Yeah, the one thing I want to say on that, I'm going to pop a notification, not a notification, a link down below. This is where a melee weapon is so useful in this game. We should not be getting this much ammo used on bloatflies. Okay, he's running away. So, yeah, I'm going to put it in the section underneath this about... Why don't I have the guns equipped that I normally do? Seems like my binds have gone walkies. I'm sure I had an assault rifle as well, didn't I? Maybe not. Perhaps I didn't bring it with me. Yeah, I'm going to put my Twitter. And any notifications of more than, a few days delay. Like, life just means occasionally you're going to have 1 or 2 days off. That is the way of things. But any notification of, multiple days off in a row means I will pop it down there on Twitter just so people know, It's good to keep people informed. But I'm excited to actually finally get in front of a microphone again and continue. Let's go into Germantown HQ and see. I believe it's super mutants, isn't it? Right in here. We'll take the cigarettes. Very hard. Okay. I don't think we have that skill in lockpicking. The big hope here for us is in getting some ammunition. That seems to be like our weakest thing at the moment. I am just going to sleep because, we can get a free heal. No, maybe not. Is this healing? Yeah, it is. Right. You. Okay, that's brilliant. Okay. So we do want to be searching these gore bags, even if they are disgusting. 5mm rounds, not too much value. What does the terminal say? Log entry 008. I suppose it seems only right to say goodbye. I ought to know it's hopeless, but maybe one of my sisters is still out there, and I couldn't go without leaving some kind of farewell. Just know that I did everything I could, I tried, and I only wish that I could be the last to go, so I could help all the others before they met their own end. So, maybe let's start at 001, hey? We were mobilised in the early evening. My security clearance isn't high enough to know this is this on an official level, but I have it on good authority that we're under threat of Chinese attack. I don't dare to share this with the girls. Most of them are a solid sort, but I can't trust them that some won't desert to try and protect themselves or their families, and wind up spreading panic, especially on flimsy rumours based on flimsier intelligence from the DoD. 002. This can't have happened. We don't even know if it was the Chinese, but DT was hit. My god, Andrea's unit was on evac detail right on the belt loop. Dear god, more bombs, what's happening? 003. Our unit has been assigned to a National Guard detachment. They drove all night from Pennsylvania. We're doing our best to keep the survivors placated whilst these boys get their strength up. The looting gets worse every day, and it's a small town. There can't be much left, and there's already been one scuffle at the canteen. These guardsmen arrived just in time, I fear. 04. Dolores and Rebecca deserted in the night. Robbed. Right. I'm just going to scan through this now, because I think we've got most of the important things here. Radiation. Prussian blue. Oh, is that like radiation treatment? This is actually like more like very straight writing for Fallout. Fallout definitely is something, and we've seen it, tends to have a foot a lot more so in the I want to say satirical or like it's some form of jokey commentary is probably the best way of summing it up. So that was just kind of straight, apocalyptic writing, the talking about the bombs being dropped and who by. I actually couldn't remember who dropped the bombs, which I suppose is of significant political consequences, really. If it is dropped by the Chinese, that means something, really, from the game's point of view. So it'll be interesting to go into that and see what the game is sort of saying. There is a big invasion, isn't there? Anchorage, Operation Anchorage is a whole section of this game in DLC, if I remember rightly. It starts coming back to you. Oh, okay. I mean, we can just load here, but we're not walking too slow, so we are walking a bit slow. I'd rather not have a damaged limb at this stage. So I'm interested to see what super mutants actually sort of represent and do in this world, because is it just simply like, oh, look at what can happen with sort of radiation? I don't know. I have no clear sort of thoughts on what it could be from the start, so perhaps there's some writing. I know there's you can get a super mutant follower, can't you, later on in the game, so we'll have to see if that is something that we do. I know it actually gives you a very slightly different ending that way. But if I remember rightly, super mutants, the one reason it is good to fight them, even though they're a little more difficult to fight, is they are fairly profitable in terms of the amount of ammo it takes to kill them to the amount of ammo that they drop. And they have like mid-tier weaponry, so, taking to the fight to them when we're ready is useful. Not that this game is super on the survival element, but, there is a progression. It is in the RPG genre of games that have sort of... I heard that go off then. Increases in damage tiers of weapons and things like that, Okay, 9mm rounds, which are useful. Password for lockdown computer. I mean, we have the science for this anyway, so... Worried. So yeah, I think this is the first time I've actually shown the log-in, log-out technique of hacking. Winning, so... Milling? No. So ING seems right. That's 4 and that's 5. So wishing, yeah. There was some logic to how I figured that out. Disengage lock. I don't know what I've just disengaged lock to, but I hope it's something not terrible. I am also going to drop a heal on... Oh. On my limb. It's making me miss Tarkov and its healing system in that. Which I find funny because that's the sort of game which it steps towards this simulation style of thing. And is very good at that, but I think you can sort of, when you're playing simulation style games, you can be like, oh, isn't this the most realistic hardcore thing in the world? And in reality, you are just playing a game that simulates stuff as well. It just might have a couple of extra systems leading into something instead of it being, this perfectly fully functioning simulation. Just because it's more realistic than maybe what you're used to doesn't mean it's realistic. I still really like that game though. I'm very good at this. Oh, hello. The nice thing about the super mutants is they have big heads for us to shoot. Man, VATS is still good. VATS is still very good. It's very spectacle driven, I'd say. And I can imagine if you were pretty immune to spectacle, which I don't blame you for being, especially at the point of release of this game, it probably rings a little hollow. But I, even coming back to the game, which is super old now, I still find it works. It just feels... It's weird to see, blood, gore, and viscera as being satisfying, because they're things that would be deeply horrific in real life. if you actually see those things, you're gonna vomit, or you're really not going to be having a good time. But when it's sort of in this weird space of reactivity in a video game, there's something enjoyable about it. Just because you like it in a fake world doesn't mean you like it in reality. I heard this statement because, you know, you hear violent video games make violent people and all that, which, just for the record, I'm fully in. I knew that was going to be there. I'm fully in the camp of that being a load of rubbish. I think the key thing with it is video games desensitize you to video games. You know, you get used to looking at have we just like released some people? We have. Hello, Red.
Rescuing me? Thanks. I thought we were goners for sure. I think the others are dead. Or worse.
I'm glad you're alive.
Me too. I'm extremely lucky you came along.
Oops, you caught me drinking some water. Is there anyone else?
Everyone else is dead. Or taken away to who knows where. Well, except maybe for Shorty. They dragged him off downstairs to the kitchen a while ago.
That's probably not
No one
a good
came
sign.
back from the kitchen.
You wait right here. I'll go see about Shorty.
I'm not waiting around for some super mutant to lock me up again. There's a back door somewhere around here. If you're not back soon, I'm leaving without you. If I'm not here when you come back, meet me at Big Town.
Do you want a gun or something? The door closing after that was quite funny to me. We're talking about violence in video games, aren't we? Yeah, like, so you play Mortal Kombat and they progressively become more and more violent in terms of spectacle and the intense amount of gore that they show. But I don't think there's much. Maybe it's a wrong series to pick because they do tend to even surprise hardened gamers. But you don't look at it and go, I want to see this in real life or anything along those lines. You look at it and go, oh, this is a video game and it looks weird and wacky in this particular way, in a way that we get used to over time. But it doesn't mean it gives you a stomach for anything else, actual reality. There's far too many terminals in here. 911 call log. 911, your call is being recorded. What's your emergency? Man screaming fire, there's fire, my house is on fire. Sir, please try to stay calm. I am going to connect you to the fire department. Anything of interest actually here? No, I ain't going to sound the station alarm. That feels like that would be a bad choice. I mean, I know we're not being the most stealthy, but it doesn't mean we have to literally tell everyone where we are. But yeah, I think there's probably an interesting Oh, I don't want to take a mutilated arm. Please, no. We're not that type of person. I think there's interesting conversations about violence and what it achieves and its purpose. I thought we did have 50 lockpick. But that doesn't mean you should automatically step into a camp of it being negative. It doesn't mean you should immediately step into the camp of being positive. The one thing I will say is that all the studies and the science actually done on the situation does ally itself to violent video games not causing violence in people. Honestly, I find I think it's more interesting to talk about things in the term of flow states and things like that. And it's not. I know that's like a kind of grab bag of terminology that is taken from a particular author, so I don't actually know the history of it and what they actually say about it. I just know that that's its origins. But I think games that can be in a violent space, this is gross, can still put you into a flow state. I think of something like Apex Legends or something like that, which is something I played a lot of recently. I play that game and I go into a different zone for a short while of time, and even though I'm doing violence in it, the the actual like interactions with it don't feel particularly violent. It feels more like the challenge is combative. I can hear someone in here. See, I wonder if super mutants literally just come from. Oh, we wanted an ogre type enemy in our game. You know, we wanted something to fill that sort of beast race type thing. Which obviously has poor connotations these days. You know, there's that whole discussion about D&D and fantasy races being racist inherently deep down somewhere, which I haven't read loads of good literature on, but from what I have seen in the quote-unquote discourse, I tend to agree with. But you have to come to someone more considered than me for that. Hello.
Who are you? Never mind, I don't care right now. Let's go get Red and get out of here. You lead, I'll follow. Let's go. Move it.
Come on, let's get out of here.
All right, move it.
Looks like you could use a weapon. Should just take his clothes. Is this one of these games where he doesn't need bullets? There you go. You can have a naff one of those.
Right.
You going to equip your weapon? No, just going to have a ciggy. Oh, quantum. That is useful later. One of our shotgun shells, and I'm going to save the game because it really has a tendency to crash. Playing old games on Windows 10 is bad. That's my hot take for the day. Right, let's get back to Big Town. Well, I didn't leave because we didn't go and get Red, but this contraband cabinet was unlocked with that computer, so I thought you could come join me with the joys of looting this place. Is that the first psycho we've found? I'm not sure. There's some jet. Bouvout. There's some nice tasty loots in here, definitely. I haven't even looked at the big shotgun on the shelf over here. The combat shotgun's actually pretty good in this game. Like, this room here, it actually makes sense with it being, you know, this formation of police that they're doing. But that room there just feels so much like, oh, here's the treasure room from a fantasy game. You, Shorty, follow me. Let's go. Here we go. Brought them back. Just did a fast travel, so. I'm guessing a big celebratory return. Who does it want us to talk to? Red.
Glad to be safely back home.
I'm glad you're safe and sound, and please, I don't want any kind of reward.
Thank you. You're a real hero, you know that? I was going to offer you a reward, but I can put the caps to use buying medicine and supplies.
Oh, I hate the good bad thing, because it's not even like, if I said, oh, I want my reward, I would have got negative karma, and it implies everything. Oh, we've talked about this before, but it implies everything's on a binary scale, and like my choice there was chosen for me by the time I went into this game. It wasn't like some weird moral choice I had to make. It was like, I'm playing a good run through, but I will go on about this forever and ever. It annoys me. I think it's outdated. Perhaps it made sense in this era of games, but we can move on from that. It was my pleasure.
Thanks. I know you've already risked your life once already, but I heard the mutants talking about another attack. They'll probably be here soon.
I can help you defend yourselves.
Really? That's great. What do you have in mind?
I mean, some robots sound dope. You should have some. This is a science option. You should have some robot defenders. I can show you what to do with them.
Great. Let's head over to the junkyard. There's some old robots in there. Maybe you can fix them up and we'll watch to see how it's done.
Oh, I got a level myself. What are we going to do with this one? I'm going to take repair to 50, take small guns to 70, and medicine to 43. Toughness, you gain 10% overall damage resistance up to a maximum of 85%. That's not bad at all. Less radiation from radiated water sources, which isn't bad because actually radiated water is a really good source of health in this game. It's pretty good. It's a bit situational, but it is pretty good. Using pistol or similar one-handed weapon, your VATS is significantly increased. I want the commando one though. I think we're going to end up using two-handed weapons more than single ones, even though it's not terrible. 5% extra damage from bloody mess is okay. I've heard arguments that this is a bad perk, but to be honest, this game isn't particularly hard, so you can take a few bad perks.
At least we made it another day, right?
Right, what do we need to actually do here? I don't remember this aspect of the quest at all.
Remember to keep an eye on the north.
Go on, I'm paying attention.
Robots are in the junkyard. We haven't actually been given a quest.
This place gets worse all the time.
Oh, another sword.
I want to repair this gun as well. I think. Is it the silence 10M? Yeah. No, we've got two of them now. Let's just equip the good one, eh? What's our best hunting rifle? There we go. And hell, combat shotgun up there. It is a good gun. Right. Are we going over to the junkyard now? Is this the junkyard? It is.
Place gets worse all the time.
I've always liked the robot designs in this game. Oh, they're all coming here to literally watch me, I think.
Those assholes in Lamplight said that this place was great.
Those assholes are kids. I mean, can I just repair this now? There we go, done. God, I can't believe you didn't defend yourself that easily earlier. All you needed to do was having all this science background that I've been getting. No good for layabouts. Does that count as done? They're just repeating themselves now. Do we need to do anything else to this? No.
Wow, I can't believe that you were able to help Time Bomb. In here, I was sure that you were ready to just let him die. I guess I had you wrong. He still can't fight, but if we survive for a bit longer, he should be back into it soon enough. Look, you're a better doc than me. That's pretty obvious. But if you need healing, I'll do it for you, no charge.
That's nice.
For you.
Let's just get fully healed while we're here. Because that'll do limbs as well. I should think. Oh. So I think we're done here, aren't we? Let's move on out into the world, eh? What else have we got main quest-wise at the moment? Or let's go back to Megaton, drop all of our stuff, and have a think about what quest we want to do next. Right, I have our next quest. We are looking for someone who I believe tends to hang around here.
Don't look at me like that.
Not you. That's a very private loo you have here. Gob. I think we might be here way too early in the day, to be honest. Who are you? Megaton Sattler? Oh, you have these great plans in mind, don't you? And they just never quite come to fruition.
Got something on your mind?
Let's go to when the drinkers are actually going to be here, which, if it's Weatherspoons, then it would be like 11 o'clock in the afternoon. Way earlier than that, what am I saying?
Got something
Hello,
on your
Lucy
mind?
West.
I don't recognize you. New in town or something?
Sure am. Stopped in to find something to do.
I hope by something to do you mean a job. Otherwise you want to talk with Nova. I'm looking for someone to make a delivery.
Yes, we get it. There is sex workers here. Sure, why not?
Great. I'd like you to deliver this message to my family in the Arefu settlement. I haven't heard from them in months, and I'm worried. As soon as you get there, talk to Davis West. He'll be glad to pay you for the trip.
A quest, you say? Let's go. Can you give me some information about Arefu?
Sure. Be glad to since you're doing me a big favor and all.
Where is Arefu?
Arefu is northwest
Arefu?
of Lexington, on an old overpass over the Potomac. If you follow what's left of the river, you can't miss it.
Do you suspect your family is in danger?
No, not really. Maybe my letters just aren't arriving. Whatever you can do to get it there would sure be appreciated.
Who else lives in Arefu?
Well, let's see. There's Evan King. He's like the sheriff of the town or whatever. Then there's my family, the Ewer family, and a lady who lives alone named Karen Shenzi.
Is there anything dangerous around there I should know about?
What? Apart from the wasteland critters, slaver raiding parties, raider hit squads, and occasional landmine? No, it's completely safe. If this was easy, I'd go myself, you know.
Alright. Fair enough.
Okay.
I have to go now.
Thanks again for...
That's okay. So, I already know what this quest is, but it should be interesting to see what y'all think of this quest, because it's an unusual one in the world of post-apocalyptia. I think this game, it's more... I'm trying to think of the correct word for it. That sounds exactly like the Zelda move. Ocarina of Time. It's more episodic. You know, you go from town to town and they have their story and you move on, which I think is a very... It's caused by this game design type. It's not necessarily the weapon I want to have. You know, especially... So the thing that post-apocalyptic video games do is you'll have groups of settlements or safe places, because you want the rest of the world to be hostile or something that's going to be of danger to your players. So you have to have these settlements. And to make these settlements interesting, they have to have a thing, you know, a unique thing going on. I think by that nature, it tends to lead these games to be a little more in the episodic sort of category without ever being fully in that it just has the vibe of it. I think that's especially true of Fallout. You have like 2 major hubs in Fallout 3. Which have a whole host of different quests, and they are maybe like longer story arcs than just episodes. But then there are places like this, like Arefu. You probably only ever need to come here once. You get a quest and you move on. And giving it this sort of segmented feeling to the game. I don't have a particular opinion on if that's good or bad. I think it's just the nature of these types of games sometimes. Well, I just heard some... Oh, there we go. I was going to say, I just heard something. This raider must have, like, absolutely came from miles. I was just sort of chilling. Doing some screenshot stuff. For a good... Oh. Good few seconds on the spot there. Weird. I imagine this sort of board signage stuff design is probably some of the most fun parts of creating these sorts of worlds. The Adventures of Captain Cosmos. Co-starring Jangles the Moon Monkey. It like you get to use the weird 50s pastiche thing, but also put your own fun design on it all. And like, yeah, enemy design I imagine would be a lot of fun as well, because you sort of have, even though I think a lot of the design probably came from oh, by the way, the big enemy of Rad Scorpions is rocks. Slight elevation. To be fair, one of the bigger enemies of most Elder Scrolls or Bethesda game enemies. But yeah, you get to create like little pastiches of an era and you know, design some cool and kooky sort of enemies. I think this is Arefu as well. Arefu, if I remember rightly. Let's make it daytime, eh? Treat ourselves to step into a new town whilst it's nice and bright outside. Oh, real bright. But if I remember rightly, it's on this overpass up here. It's a good sign, isn't it, the Brahmin being dead? I've always liked this. Whenever a town or like a settlement takes a sign that's already diegetic or already in world, like Novak in Fallout New Vegas is no. I was about to say no vacation. No. What is it? Novak, no. Vacancies. There we go. God, that took too long. You can tell it's later in the day after I've done a full day at work, can't you? Oh.
Hang on, you're not one of them. I nearly blasted you in two.
I saw you. You didn't have a weapon in your hand.
Before they spot you.
Intriguing start to the mission.
Now what the hell are you doing all the way out here?
Well, I have this letter for the West family.
That's great, but I got bigger problems than being the town post office right now. The shit's about to hit the fan in this cesspool, and I don't think I can stop them.
What kind of trouble?
Well, at first they do their typical gang bullshit. You know, break stuff and make lots of noise. But they always kept their distance. But this last time, they went too far. They killed all of our Brahmin. I mean, that's our lifeblood out here, you know.
What's got you so spooked?
Look, you can call me crazy if you want. But there is something odd about those creeps. I mean, they got the guns and they got the muscle. Why don't they just bust down our doors and take us out already? We're really in a bad way and could use some help.
I'm, of course, always here to help.
I don't want to take my eyes off the ramp here. There's no telling when the family will return. Can you do me a favor and check on the other people's houses here? You know, make sure they're doing okay? Speak with Davis West, Karen Shenzi, and Ken Ewers.
I have a message for the West family from their daughter.
I can't take that. You're just going to have to bring it to the West yourself.
Can you tell me more about what's been going on around here?
There used to be more families living here. Most of them have dismantled their shacks and moved on to greener pastures. Those that are still living here are keeping themselves indoors, thanks to the family.
So they're living under...
Watch yourself. I've got an itchy trigger finger.
Alright. So they've got themselves trapped up here and scared. Knock on the Ewer's house.
Hello? Is this the mailman? Oh, I do hope my fall catalog has arrived.
I'm fairly sure no one in living memory would have had a mailman in this world. Huh? What are you talking about? Evan King sent me.
Oh, Evan, he's such a gentleman. Please, do come inside. Let me unlock the door for you.
What the hell are you doing in here? Get the fuck out.
Oh god. Your wife let me in. Something about a catalogue.
Oh, for the love of... Look, she's dumber than a bag of hammers, okay? If you want to talk to anyone, you need to talk to me. So what the fuck do you want?
Evan King told me to check on you. Is everything okay?
We're great. Just peachy. I love sitting in my house with my thumb up my ass. Tell Mr. King that sitting here all day isn't going to make us any safer. We need to take action.
Who are we taking action on? Can you tell me about what's going on around here?
Everyone is keeping themselves safe from the family. If I was you, I'd do the same. You want to know more? Talk to Evan.
We have no idea who these people are. So what's your take on Evan King?
Well, he's town mayor or sheriff or whatever he calls himself. He calls all the shots. When he says to get the heck indoors and stay put, we do that.
What do you think about the family?
They're low-life scum who decided to use Arefu as their own personal amusement park. Oh, they're a fun bunch. I'd take a shot at them if I could, but judging from what they did to the Brahmin, I wouldn't live long to tell about it.
I mean, this is a world with guns.
Good. Now get out.
I don't know. I was just going to comment on them killing the Brahmin.
From all that walking in this horrible heat. Oh, Brayley Ewers is the name. Don't mind my husband, Kenneth. He woke up on the wrong side of the bed this morning.
Evan King told me to check on you. Is everything okay?
Oh, he's such a dear. I must remember to make more of those preserves he loves so much.
Can you tell me what's been going on around here?
Oh my, I don't know. Mrs. West is probably whipping up a batch of her famous cookies, and all the kids are playing in the yards. It's so nice outside. The grass looks lovely this time of year.
These You didn't know there was a war 200 years ago, right?
Well, I must speak to my husband about that. We could bring it up at the next homeowners association meeting. Ah, I
See,
do love meetings so
mm,
much. I think I'll bring muffins.
I think, yeah, they're just using the sort of derangement's probably a bit of a strong word. The breakdown of Mrs. Ewers there, they're using that as like an aesthetic choice almost. They're not going to ever dig deeper into why a person like that has chosen to perceive the world completely differently and regress back to a pre-war time or anything. It's always just going to be, look, funny. The person is gone mad. Isn't she weird and wacky? Which I think is the writing style of these games, to be honest. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, it's all gone very wrong in here. The bodies of the West have bite marks on the neck area that go to the bone. Nothing else on the corpses to indicate what happened. Now, I do believe we do want to try and break into one of these houses, but we're not good enough to do it, so we shall leave it. Let's go inform Mr. King what has gone on here, because something seems a little odd. So, what would be normally going on through your head after seeing that? You'd think some sort of weird beast, wouldn't you? Some sort of creature has caused it.
Don't you have some houses to be checking?
Oh, I've done that. Did you know the Wests are dead?
The family must have gotten to them in the last attack. Sons of bitches. Damn it. If only we had more men, we could stand up to them. I'm sick of them terrorizing this town. Check the rest of the town. Make sure I'm not the only one left. Don't you have some houses to...
Where do you think I can find the family?
Somewhere east or northeast of here. Problem is, they always travel in the dark, so I can't see exactly where they go. There's all kinds of places they could be hiding, like Hamilton's Hideaway, the old Moonbeam Cinema, or Northwest Seneca Metro Station.
I can't remember which one of those is the actual one. Let's go have a look anyway. Yeah, so it kind of sets up a weird thing where you think, especially when you fought giant rad scorpions and maybe a death claw by now, you know that these wastes aren't, 100% producing what we'd consider normal circumstances. I think it's Northwest Seneca. I think. Let's place a marker there. Situation. So you think, oh, is it some sort of creature? But then the family have been described as a gang or something like that. So it's an odd dichotomy between the two. Yeah, it's the one I thought it was, which is Northwest Seneca. What's that quest saying? Oh, we missed a residence. Let's go back up and check that one last residence up here. I was just reading a few things. I ended up reading a little bit ahead, which I don't mind doing because, well, I'm not one who cares too much for spoilers. I like to see how things play out myself anyway, even if I do know what's going to happen. But yeah, I read a little bit ahead and I was like, oh boy, this mission goes places, doesn't it? It tells some stories, that's for sure. Which building have we missed? Is it like one? Oh, this is a separate building. That's why. That's where we went wrong. Knock on the door.
Yes. Who is it?
Evan King sent me. Can I come in?
Oh, he did? Well, it's about damn time he did something. Come on in. I'll unlock the door.
Why, thank you.
It's nice to see a friendly new face around here. It's been a long time. The name's Karen Shenzi.
Did you... I'm not going to say the Wests are dead straight away. Evan King told me to check in on you. Is everything okay?
I'm scared out of my mind. I'm glad he's checking on us, but until someone nips the problem in the bud, we may as well stay inside forever.
Do you know what? I'm good. I don't want to go through all the questions. Do you have a bobblehead in here at all? There is one around here, but no. Right, let's actually get down to this station and see what's going on.
What did they tell you? Wait a minute.
Oh, he's just asked me if I found their son's Ian's body. No, I only found the parents' body.
This has to be the work of the family. I've caught that weirdo leader of theirs talking to Ian down by the river. Look, I know I've asked a lot of you already, but you have to find that kid. He deserves better than all this.
Don't worry, Evan. I'll figure out what happened to the Wests.
Thanks, kid. You're all right.
Right, let's go. Right, here's the station we need. I believe Northwest Seneca is the right one. I'm kind of interested what this grocery store has to say. They don't tend to highlight something like that unless you can go in, so let's have a quick nose. I hear Rad Roach. I wonder, because RPGs sort of have you guided by the fact that you need to loot to progress and improve yourself, and I wonder how much of that leads sort of game designers to have to create a really hostile world. I wonder if you could do this sort of RPG game design and sort of reject the idea that a hostile world is guaranteed for it. I've just been thinking about hostile worlds a lot since playing this game, because like it really shows a world gone to crap, and I think it gives a very ooh, who are you?
Well, now, if it
Oh,
isn't
Talent
the
Company.
same from the vault. We've been looking for you. Someone's put quite a
That guy in the back has got a very blank look on his
You
face.
think you can walk around the wasteland doing the things that you do, and there isn't going to be someone who takes notice? Such a shame. I hear that you could have been something useful. Ah, well, time to die.
Well, can't we talk this out? The problem we have here is if they've got some okay kit by the looks of it, so let's see what we can do. I mean, this is off to a good start. Ooh, nasty. I want to get behind this corner just so I can take some pot shots. I mean, it's not the most thrilling combat in the world, I'll be honest, but oh, I think he just blew himself up also. And they love calling things companies, don't they? There's Blackwood Company as well. Oh, as if. I'm going to shoot his arm off. I said I'm going to shoot his arm off. There we go. Told you. But their guns are worth a bit. But yeah, like, so coming out here, fair enough having even the... is that better than our armor? I think so. I mean, it's the armor of some terrible mercenaries, but if it's better than what we're wearing, we are going to wear it. Where's the last one? Over here by this burned out Microsoft? So that goes up to 16. Yeah, that's way better than what we're wearing. Let's do it. Yeah, it was a formation of world that isn't immediately aggressive. I think it's a staple of this sort of genre, you know, the post-apocalyptic genre, from my experience. And I just wonder how essential it is. Oh, hello. I knew this was here, and like in the back of my mind I knew this was here, but it was still surprising to have my suspicions about my own memory confirmed. That's quite good.
Get away from me, smooth skin. You looking for a problem?
I'm sure you can get Barrett to talk to you.
Hell, you looking at smooth skin.
Alright. This is the tunnel we need to be in. Rotting Brahmin corpse. Nice, nice. Oh, hello, Maya Lurk. These are a very cool enemy design. I think if you're going to play around, like, at the end of the day, if your fiction is post nuclear war, and you get to play in the space of like what has happened to creatures and things like that, like making a goddamn radiated crab monster is not a bad way to go. We are getting our butts kicked here. Oh, Mats was having a moment. Oh, come on. I remember their meat being a decent heal. It's not that good. We'll have to use some stim packs, I think. I do like the way you can't just do the old heal trick from Elder Scrolls. That feels like it was lacking. I don't trust up here. Yeah, that feels like there's going to be some traps. This is a cool way to come into a station. I wonder how influenced these games were. I'd have to play... Oh, I see you. I'd have to play the originals, which is part of the plan, to see sort of where their world comes from, because this definitely has a foot in the realms of Metro. And actually, there's a lot of similarities between Fallout and Metro, in my opinion. Can you trip these? Ah, I see you. You know, the sort of station idea of civilization, all being disconnected, weird places that have their own stories.
Whoa, slow down there. This area's off limits to everyone but the family. Where the hell do you think you're going?
Well, let's try speech.
I don't care what you need. This place is off limits, and that's that. Sounds like an interesting problem.
Everyone's bribable.
Those off your hands. You know, lighten the load.
It's very helpful. Here you go.
I suggest taking the door around the corner if you want to get where I think you're going. You'll find it unlocked in a moment. If I were you, I'd speak to Vance before you poke around too much. You can usually find him on the mezzanine overlooking the common area.
What is this place?
This lovely hole in the ground is Maresti, the headquarters of the family.
I wonder if they purposely made the family sound like a mafia group. Tell me about the family.
We are a badass gang, and we don't take shit from no
For some reason, I don't believe you when you say it like that.
We also don't like nosy assholes who creep around asking too many stupid questions.
I have to go now.
I got my eyes on you. We all do.
Okay. I want to make sure we're fully explored up here, and then we can go and chat to Vance. That does lead to something. Where's your gun? And just hop over it. I just want to check it out up here. Because we came from down there, didn't we? See if there's anything of value. Did I hear an enemy? Oh, ow. That's very funny. Oh, yeah, don't trust this crib. Told you. Is this a back way into Maresti? Oh, I can't remember. How about in here? Right, here we are at Maresti. Which I remember being kind of like a cool setup. I like it. It's the first time we've been in the underground somewhere like this, isn't it? I like this mezzanine setup, but these benches in a row is a little churchy. Perhaps it's so people can do speeches from up here. Right, anyway. Always leave things on a cliffhanger. Before we find out who the family are and what they do, you'll have to tune in next time. I think it has something to do with blood, but that would be spoiling, wouldn't it? Thank you for watching today. If you could like the video, if you've enjoyed it, drop a comment if you have any thoughts on sort of post-apocalyptia's a fascination with a Leviathan, Hobbesian-esque world, or just worlds where everyone turns to on each other, you know, Lord of the Flies stuff. I would love to hear them. Love. Subscribe if you want more of this sort of thing. We are going to be getting back to regular output, hopefully, after today. It's still a bit hit and miss because I'm working more and more hours again, so we will eventually hit a regular sort of routine with these things again, but it's just going to have to take a little min because you have to figure out your own routines of life again when you're suddenly going from no hours to close to 48 hours a week. But that is going to be it for now. Thank you for watching. My name has been Billy, and goodbye.